So we have a new episode of Legends and Leaders, and today we've got somebody pretty interesting here. I mean, you've done a lot of stuff, Ev, in the skincare space, and really like also focusing on men in skincare, which I think has been kind of a demographic that's been just entirely overlooked in the category. And you've experimented with the NFT category and doing something in that space as well. But you've always like had this really great quality standard that you brought to the skincare space, I think has affected a lot of the industry in general, and pushed them towards that area. So I'm definitely excited to have you and to get into your story.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. So just kind of going back to the beginning, like how did your interest in skincare and wanting to build a brand in that area, like how did that passion start and just wanting to be an entrepreneur?
I think, I come from a family of entrepreneurs, so I was born into it and kind of grew up with it, with that entrepreneur mindset. With skincare, I think it probably started when I was really young. I grew up with a beauty and skin conscious mother who would lather us with creams from kids. And then by the time I think we had hit puberty, she started having us get facials, and we're from Greek descent, and going into an American school in Chicago and being like, oh, we get facials because we thought that was normal because she didn't want us to have acne. Didn't go down pretty great. But needless to say, it was kind of my entry point into kind of skincare, taking care of yourself. We grew up with it. My mother was very demanding about it, and it paid off. And then I started modeling when I was 16 years old, and I moved to Paris. And, as a model, you're constantly have makeup put on you, and you're introduced to different skincare brands. At the time, it was everyone would buy things from the French pharmacy. And so the makeup artists would tell you which products to use and so on. So theirs were like more as an older person. 16 is not older, but is someone a bit more that understands the reasons of using skincare or cosmetics for that reason, how they work and how they can make you look better, and just like little things that may be the best version of yourself and how they work. Then by the time I lived in Paris for 4 years, I would come back to Chicago, and I have two brothers that are like alpha males. And I started doing that to them, like putting different creams on them and bronzers and showing them little tricks to make them look better before they went out. So they had all their friends come to me, and their friends started asking me questions, and I would buy products for their friends. And so at some point they all had these little drawers that they had, their enhancers in them of what made them look better. And now it's, many years later, they're probably married with kids, and they have their stuff is just out. It's no longer this secret. So I guess it kind of started from there, and my own personal obsession of beauty and staying young, and youth wins.
When did it get to a point where like I'm going to build a brand around this? Like a lot of people like this. I need to build a brand to scale it out.
I thought about this for a very long time. I've wanted to do it since I was in my early 20s. I probably wasn't as focused as I am now. I thought, the timing wasn't right. So it's always something that I had in the back of my mind and kept thinking about. I want to say in around, first I had launched my fashion business with my partner, Peter. And then in 2018, we launched Dundas Beauty, I came up with the idea for Dundas Beauty. So during that time, I really started thinking like, how can I make just a men's brand that men had a space to go to? And I just looked at all the failures that had happened and all the brands that didn't really work. But I want to say, I think I created my first deck for Enhanse in 2020. And it wasn't until a year ago till I actually had the space and the time. And I actually thought that it was the right timing in the market to press the button, go. So, by the time I launched the brand we launched about 7 months ago, but we started on it last 23 October. I had flushed out everything that I wanted to do, the products that I wanted, how I envisioned the brand to be, and so on. So, it's been kind of a process. It took me a long time to kind of study men and see what they really would want, study other brands, and really just build myself up to be able to like pull the trigger on starting another startup as well.
How do you go about like figuring out how to make formulate something that's different, that stands out. I mean, you've done this now a couple of times, but what are some of the ways you even do that?
I think you have to go with your intuition, and then you have to be able to take risks. And I think a lot of people, yes, there are formulas for success, and I think, but you also have to take risks within those formulas to differentiate yourself. And I think it goes into this whole notion of disrupting, and what does that mean? And can you disrupt an industry or shape a category, and kind of go into it from that mindset and really see where the gaps are, and you kind of start filling them. But I think, you know, I really think I'm a person who really goes with my intuition, and then kind of can see where a trend is going to lead and say, okay, now's the timing to push the button and go with it.
I mean, and you also just have like so much experience like in just the beauty category at this point. Like it's different launching a new brand. I mean, you've seen a lot more of what it takes. I mean, how do you view it now? Like when in terms of launching like D2C online versus like retail, like how important are retailers anymore to this whole category?
You know what? I still do think retailers are important. I think your biggest business will come from your D2C. Because the information you learn about your customer is so valuable, and you can only do that with having your own D2C business. I don't think the wholesalers or Amazon are really giving you that feedback or that knowledge that you'll get from having your own D2C business. And I think that's really what's shifted. I still do think that wholesale is really important. I think that it, points of distribution are always key. Being able to reach different markets, people being able to see and feel the product. I think all those things are still really important for sensory, and for actually, there's an experience about it that I think, with DHC is another experience. So one shouldn't have to cancel the other, I think.
And do you still think like America is making the trends in this category? I mean, because you talked about like how, I mean, there was a lot of modeling in France, and there's probably a lot of
Yeah.
products there that were hitting the scene.
I think I think the American man, I should say, is becoming smarter and more open to different trends that happen in different countries. In the beauty space, I still think Korea is groundbreaking, and we formulate in Korea. I think that a lot of uh, the products they have there, they're just so advanced, and it's something that they've perfected so much. But I think, America's is getting there, and I think it's just the mentality has changed a lot in America, so people are more open to learning, about different products that have to do with skincare or cosmetics. And so many American brands are using, Korean products and so on. So I think that it's become more of a norm.
So formulating there has just enabled you to get a pulse on that culture and just bring it over to different areas. And maybe it isn't even in yet. And just kind of get things that are different.
Yep. And I think, they always have something new that they're showing you. And, like what's going to be big in the next couple of years. And they're quite spot on. There haven't been any products that I don't like.
That's awesome. So what has it been like getting this new brand off the ground? Because like I think a lot of this comes down to just communicating to people what it is, and also there's a lot
Totally.
of men that haven't tried anything even like this. So like that's a huge untapped market. If you think about like right, like
Completely.
you look at this space, it's so oriented to women today.
Completely. I think the reason when I had studied why like other brands had failed, I think they weren't really speaking to the man directly. I think another thing is that brands were just using the same exact product that women would use and just make it like blue or black packaging. And then all of a sudden it was men's and add men on it. Timing is a huge thing. I think timing is everything. Men weren't ready 20 years ago to really dive into um products that were perceived for women, and I think that it's just the social norms have changed so much, and what men are allowed to do and what they're not, or and vice versa. So I think, it's, yeah, I think that things have just changed. Brands, haven't really been addressing men directly, which I think, tone of voice is so important in getting people to really understand how to use the products. I think, a lot of times people just assume that they know how to use it. Most of our products are sprayers, but I still have to explain to people like spray on your face because people just want direct answers. They don't want to have to think too much. And also there's the educational piece about, men and their skin. Most people don't know the men's skin is 25% thicker than women's because of their testosterone levels. They produce a lot more oil than women do. There's all these like fun facts that no one knew about because no one communicated them. So everyone just thought, oh, this is a female product, I'm not going to use it, or I don't know how to use it, instead of it being a normal conversation about this is skincare and this is how you use it. You don't go to a woman and say, how do you use lipstick? They know how to use lipstick because it's such a normal thing. And I think men will get there as well. I definitely think men will get there. I think there was a survey that was done that out of 145 million men in America and Canada, 52% are using skincare right now.
That much?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so it being a white space, obviously, as an entrepreneur and looking at that and saying, okay, there's these many men that are using skincare. If I just took a fraction of that business, because there are so few brands that are out there that are just catering to men's needs and men's skin needs or their grooming needs. And so I think there's space for a lot more people. So I'm never worried about other people that are in the space as well and so on.
It's a good attitude to have. And it's definitely the right attitude. But this is a space that I think you're the leader in, because there really like isn't too many people even trying to build something that's of the quality that you have and going at it. And how long do you think it's going to take before this becomes like entirely something that maybe is accepted in all different types of parts of cultures and things like that?
To be honest, I think it's happening right now. It's happening at like super fast speed. If I think about 5 years ago when I thought about doing Dundas Beauty, more now is 2018 to now. I mean, within that span, we've made huge strides. I think we're there. I think the timing is now. I think over the next couple of years, we'll be having this conversation and saying, of course everyone knows how to use these products, and most men are using them. I think people forget also with skin, and this is the one thing that I really wanted to launch this brand because again, I wanted to do something that was disruptive within the men's skincare. I didn't want to just take out a cream. I didn't just want to take out an eye cream. I wanted to do something that was a hybrid of a longevity aspect. Lifespan is a lot longer right now. We've all seen the memes on Instagram when you see people who were 50 in the 90s and 50 now, they look completely different. I remember when I was younger and I would see a 30-year-old and I thought they were old. And I was like, Jesus, I'm there now. But it's, I think that, there was the longevity piece that I was super, super interested in, keeping the skin, preventing aging and keeping youthful looking skin. And then there was the cosmetics piece, because I really do feel that men will start wearing makeup. Well, men are wearing makeup. It will become more normal for people to know that men wear makeup. I mean, I've worn makeup my whole life. And so I wanted to start introducing that with these hidden enhancements where men didn't even know that they were wearing something that had like a makeup ingredient in it. So I really wanted to do something that was new and fresh. And I think from that aspect, probably we're one of the only men's brands that are doing that right now. But I do think there are some really good brands out there that, I've looked up to. There's Jack Black, which I think is an amazing men's brand, skincare grooming brand. But again, it launched 20 years ago. Things have changed so much in 20 years. So it's like, what is this next gen of that?
Definitely. So how did you think about, like, from a product standpoint, like what products to even lead off in this category with?
It's really, with everything I do, I like to bring it to a personal place and say, okay, what are the products that I'm missing? One of my products called Mattifying Milk. It's an anti-shine spray. We've won some awards for it. We really got a lot of recognition. It's about 50% of our business right now is one spray, it's the product that I wanted to make for 15 plus years. We would go out to the clubs when we were younger and come out all sweaty. And I was like looking at my girlfriends and they would be putting on powder. And I'm like, put some powder on me. I'm like, which guy's ever going to take a brush and powder and it gets sticky and not know what they're doing? I'm like, this is never going to happen. And I thought, like, why couldn't I make a spray that could be super easy, that was basically like powder or rice paper, or having a rice paper, those rice papers or whatever to take away the shine? Why couldn't I just have a spray that I could spray quickly, going from one party to another and look great? And so that was the first product that we created, because I'd never seen something like that done in the market before, besides like women's setting makeup sprays, which you could use this on makeup because I do, but something that directly just, address men's oily skin or them looking greasy and not looking quite fresh. Next was eyes. I think eyes are the first place where you see age. And I think people don't take care of them enough. I also have allergies and I'm tired constantly from running business, and I never want to look tired. So I was like, I needed a great eye gel that will depuff, that will make me look great, and that I could use throughout the day. So the eye gel was something that was really important. Then we had one of our products I'm super excited about is our Super Clean, which is the hypochlorous acid, which I really feel is going to become like, it's becoming, and it will be bigger over the next 5 years. It's going to replace the Purells of the world. It's a product that's good for your skin. It's good for you. It's a super molecule that your white blood cells produce, that fights against bacteria and disease. And scientists couldn't figure out how to put it in a bottle and for it to have shelf life. And when we did, we partnered with a company that was one of the 3 companies in the States that actually bottles hypochlorous acid and has the highest concentration. And putting it on, when you put on Purell, everyone in COVID had Purell and it dried out your hands, and then you needed a moisturizer. This actually doesn't dry out your skin. And it's for the lazy guy. I don't wash my face at night. I wake up and I can put makeup on, and people can see me during the day and think I'm pretty put together, but at night I'm beyond lazy. And I think most men are. So I have it by my bed and I spray it on my face, and I know I'm doing something that's going to kill any dirt or bacteria that I have on my face. I have 2 kids. I use it on them, on their cuts. I use it as an aftershave post gym. It's actually a deodorant as well, because bacteria causes odor. And so if you spray it on, under your arms or places where you might think you're smelling, it actually works and it takes away the odor. So I'm super excited about that one as a cleanser. And then we went into tanning products. And the reason I went into the face tanner was, I think there's studies done about this, that people who are tan are more attractive, and people are attracted to more people that are tan. And I love obviously being tan and feeling that, even though I'm at the office, I still want to feel like I'm jet setting around the world. So like when I was younger. And so I think there's something to be said about that, and kind of this healthy glow that you have of if you look healthy, you're feeling healthy. I feel like if you look good on the outside, you feel good on the inside. And so I wanted to create a self tanner that also was my bridge in my journey into men wearing cosmetics, because I don't know a lot of men right now who are going to be putting on tinted moisturizers, foundations, and so on. But I do know that if I gave them a spray that they could use after the shower, that was clear, that didn't deposit color onto their face immediately, and it happened over time, and I use science. Science is incredible right now. You can do everything with you can do so much. I shouldn't say everything. You can do so much with so many formulas. And basically what Jet Set Face does is it works with your own DHEA, so it only makes you as tan as you would normally get, or the color you would normally get. And so I thought, like, what do guys want? I worked with a formulator. They don't want fragrance. They don't want orange. I don't want orange. They want something that's really easy to use and something that will make them just look fresher. It's not going to make you look like you were in the Caribbean for a month. I haven't tried it that much to be like, but I have friends who use it every single day. They do a couple of sprays and in the morning, and by the afternoon, by the evening, they look great. It's also something that lasts for 3 days. Again, going to the man who's lazy and who doesn't want to do this every day. You know, he can spray one night a couple of times and he'll have a healthy glow for 3 days. So really I was super interested in that. And then for the body tanner, for Jet Set Body, that came more data driven, I have to be honest, of just saying that a lot of people are buying the body tanners. And, you know, I use it if I have an open shirt and I wanted my chest to match my face and so on. But that's the one product that I've got to say, you know, it does incredibly well, but it wasn't something that I had my whole heart in.
What's your big picture vision kind of at this point? You know, because you've got a good product suite. You know, like if you had like a roadmap, like a 5 to 10 year plan, some of the goals to get there, like what would that be now?
I mean, to be honest, I want to be the next Kiehl's. I think that that is really the goal. You know, in fashion, you think about like what brands would you replace that were older that are doing worse, and here I think that I've really thought about that. Like, what is the new Kiehl's? What is the next gen of Kiehl's? And I really would love Enhance to be that. I think that there's a lot of possibilities. I think the science advancements are insane right now with formulas. I think that you can really create a world that men would go to and a brand that they would trust. They would have amazing product, because that's key for me, is having great product that would look good in their bathroom, good in their bag, and frankly, that's not super expensive as well. I think, you know, we have enough really expensive products out there. I don't want it to be cheap. I just don't want it to be expensive either. I think you can find a happy ground where people, if they know they're going to get some product that's incredible, they'll pay a couple more dollars for. But yeah, I think that there's a lot of possibilities for Enhance, even with the name like Enhance and men. It's, you know, who doesn't want an enhancement as a man?
I do like the name a lot. I think it's a great name,
Thank
especially
you.
for the beauty space. I mean, everyone
Yeah.
wants something that enhances them.
Yeah. But, you know, break out into more categories, stores. I think there's a lot of possibilities for the brand, which I'm really excited about.
That's awesome. Well, that was the main questions that I had. So I appreciate you taking the time and doing this. I think you built something pretty interesting already, and it's a space that's definitely a white space in the way you're talking about it. And I'm excited to see what you're going to do next and how you're going to bring this out to more men. So thanks for coming
Thank
on.
you so much.